Hi y'all, it's Hannah here. I'm a 29-year-old cash budgeter and stuffer, and this is HF Budgets. Welcome to our our second week of March budgeting. So we're gonna go through my binders to see what our budget looks like this week. So this week we are starting off with $390. And we will go ahead and start off with my wallet before we even get into this binder. Also, I'm already losing it. So in our wallet today, our wallet gets the same amount week to week. So I know it's gonna remain the same this week as it does every. So groceries is gonna get $60, gas is gonna get $40, eating out is gonna get $40, and spending is gonna get $35. To equal a total of $175 that's going to be going in my wallet for the week. So we can go ahead and automatically take that out. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to jump into my savings challenge binder. I have been liking the routine of going into here first to kind of knock out some of the priorities that I have for these savings goals. But right off the bat, I know Mondays is going to get $30. This is my mini Monday video. And it is something that I am trying to not always forget. Okay, so jumping into our savings challenge binder, this first challenge will actually get stuffed when we stuff our wallet and our binders. This gets taken out of our weekly spending money to help save a little extra. This first challenge here is our Saving with Friends book from Budgeting with Amanda. I did get this in one of her recent launches. This is a new savings challenge book that she released, and it is completely Disney themed. So we are currently working on one of the Scratchoff challenges in here, and we're working on 101 Dalmatians, and we scratched a 5 and a 4. So we are going to go ahead and budget $9 for this challenge. Awesome. We're gonna skip over our envelope challenge. I do have quite a bit of rollover in my wallet, and that's what a majority of this challenge gets stuffed with. So I'm not even sure if I'm gonna put anything in here this week. I'll show you what we're looking at. My goal is to finish it probably next week, because we're down to our last few numbers and they're on the lower end, and I do have a good chunk of money that is coming that I don't plan on spending by this weekend. So I should be able to knock out some of the higher ones. So we are completing it sooner rather than later. Okay. I do want to go into our pizza challenge. This is by MikaelaCreationsCo. I am putting this towards my emergency fund. And this week we are going to be putting, let's see, we're gonna go ahead and do this 16 right here. I feel like that's a nice in-between number of like a high and a low number. So we will do the 16 into this challenge. Our next challenge is this Friends challenge. This is by Nessabudgets, and last time in our stuffing we scratched a 24 right there. So we're gonna go ahead and budget $24 for this challenge. That off. These are pretty much set amounts each week. So this is the first of the 3 annual challenges that I'm doing, 2 in this binder and then 1 in my Monday binder. I allocated each coin stack to be $3, so we are going to do 2 coin stacks and do a total of $6 this week. So that was from, I didn't even tell you who it's from. This is from Buttercup Budgets over on Kofi, and then our second annual is from Budget with Amanda. I do have their YouTube's linked below if you are interested. So this week we are also going to do 6. We're going to do the 4 and the 2 to knock out the next 2 biggest numbers. And here we go. I don't think I subtracted the 6 from Buttercup. And then I'll subtract the 6 from Amanda. I'm gonna recheck that though, because I always tend to, okay, you know what, we're gonna do the calculator a little different. We're gonna add this section and then put a total at the bottom. and maybe that'll help me kind of stay on track. We'll see. Okay, so this is a new challenge that we're starting this week. I am a huge Formula One fan. It has been a newfound interest of mine, newfound in the last like year. So I wanted to do something fun and kind of combine the hobbies of budgeting and Formula One. So I'm going to be saving my favorite drivers' points this year. And so last weekend was the first race weekend, which kicked off in Australia. And so I don't have like a challenge in this. I just kind of made a dashboard for it. It's very simple. It's literally just the Formula One logo. But I do journal all the races. And so this is a journal for this year. I'm a little behind, but that is okay. But I did create this page that is going to track all of Max's points. So my favorite driver is Max Verstappen. And he's just super fun to watch on track, and yeah, sort of became my favorite driver last season, and I'm going back and watching some of his older seasons, and just, it's insane the way this man drives. Anyways, so for the Australian Grand Prix, he came in 6th position, which means he got 8 points, and I'm doing an extra $1 for he did get the fastest lap, so he, out of all the laps driven for the Grand Prix, he had the fastest lap time. And then he was also voted driver of the day. So I'm adding $1 for each of those. So we're gonna go ahead and put a total of $10 into this savings challenge this week. This is not gonna be something I stuff every week. It's dependent on if there is a Grand Prix that weekend. Races do go until December, so this will be a long-term savings challenge, and then we'll figure out what it's going to go towards at the end of it. But I think it's just a fun way to bring that hobby into this one. Awesome. Next up, we are going to, I'm actually going to put this up here, move some stuff around so I have a little more room. We are going to jump into our color and save. This is from Budget with Carly over on Kofi, and we are going to do, we've done the 5s and we've done all the 4s. So we're gonna do 2 of the 3s this week. So we'll do $6 into this challenge. And then we get to color off 2 more spaces on the mug. Initially, this is gonna be going towards my investment account, which is just like a brokerage account that I have. I'm not sure if I'm gonna stick to that. I might end up putting it in my Roth IRA. I do not currently max out my Roth IRA, but I do put money towards that every paycheck, as well as a 401k with my employer, but I'm trying to figure out where this money will be best invested. So figuring that out, we do have some time considering the challenge is not near to being done. So yeah. All right, moving on to the last challenge that I have in my binder, which is this Save Your Way in 2026 by Shades Budget. This was over on our Kofi. We're gonna go ahead and knock out another column here. So we are gonna do, I believe this is $18. So 6 plus 6, 12. Wait, 6 plus 6 is 12. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, it's 16. Okay. Let's do $16 in Save Your Way in 2026. So we can knock that out. I do want to finish that. That's going towards my travel fund. So I'm going to Europe in, I think it's starting the 2nd week of May. So I do want to complete this to put that towards travel. Okie dokie. So it looks like we have $3 left. Or so it looks like we're at 93. Okay. So we're at 93, and then we have the 30 from our Mondays, which puts us at 123. I don't put any singles into my sinking funds, so we're gonna round this out to 125 and put $2 into our envelope, our 50 envelope challenge. And that will give us a total of 125. So now we can go back and do the 390, subtract my wallet, and then subtract our savings challenges, which does not leave us a lot for our sinking funds, but that is okay. some of these are going towards our sinking funds, like our higher priority sinking funds, like travel and emergency. So I don't feel super stressed about not having a whole lot to go into my sinking fund binder. Also, next week I will be, is when I get my work bonus. So I will be stuffing my work bonus next week alongside our typical cash stuffing. So we will have a little more to budget with next week, which is super exciting. Wasn't sure if I was gonna get a work bonus, but we are, so that is definitely a pleasant surprise. All right, jumping into our sinking funds here, starting with personal health. Pretty much all of my sinking funds that I'm going to stuff are gonna get $5 just because we don't have a lot to work with, but small amounts build up. So that is what we are holding on to, and we have seen proven to be true. So personal health today is gonna get 5. Household is gonna get 5. Skincare is gonna get 5. Emergency is gonna get 5, and we are currently working on a savings challenge from Nessabudgets. I did get this over on her Etsy a while back, and last stuffing we were able to knock out some of the 20s thanks to my tax return. So this week we're going back to smaller amounts. So we'll work on the next 5, and if we run out of 5s and are continuing to stuff 5s, we'll condense it, knock out some of the 10s, and essentially just make it work for what I have in my budget. But this week it is getting 5. Christmas is getting 5, and then car maintenance is also getting 5 this week. And then that concludes this binder. Those, I guess you consider, are like more of the high priority. They're always gonna be, those are gonna be an always stuff regardless, even if it is just $5. All right, moving on to our other sinking funds. Starting off with Costco here. Costco's gonna get $5. H Mart, we are stuffing $5. Friends, we are actually, this is gonna be the one category that gets a little bump this week. Friends is gonna get $10. I have brunch plans on Saturday with some friends, so I'm gonna be using this then, and I wanna make sure that I have enough to cover the brunch that we go to. So that is getting a little bump. Personal spending this week is getting 5. We are building this back up. Savings is gonna get 5. This is just an extra savings, a slow building extra savings. And then travel this week is also gonna get 5. Into this envelope. We are not going into our larger travel envelope this week, but I believe we will be able to next week, so that is exciting. Jumping into our last section here, Hannah is gonna get 5. I did spend out of Hannah recently, and I bought and pre-ordered some Lego sets, but the reason I chose to pre-order them is because my Capital One Venture card, I've downloaded Capital One Shopping, and it will email you deals based off of like what you're searching for online. And I really wanted to pre-order the Lego came out with Formula One helmets for some of the drivers, and so I wanted to get those. And it met the threshold that like for the deal that Capital One Shopping sent me. So it was a spend $150. If you spend $150 at Lego, you'll get $90 back in rewards, which seems like an insane deal. So I decided to pull the trigger, and I pre-ordered both of the helmets that they have currently released, which are Charles and Lewis. So I pre-ordered those, and then I got $90 back in my Capital Shopping rewards, which is incredible if you do have that credit card and are able to control your spending, or like you know how to, like you're not like you've learned how to spend with your credit cards, because that is something in my early 20s I did not know how to do and racked up a bunch of credit card debt. All that to say, I did pay it off, and I'm learning how to spend on my credit cards and use them to my benefit to receive points and rewards. So I did have the money in Hannah, And so I did pre-order those and took it from here, took it from this envelope. And then I got $90 back in rewards. So that will be put towards, that isn't like a cash back, that's like can go towards gift cards through the Capital One shopping rewards portal. So I'll be doing that once that actually hits that account. Anyways, sorry, that was a long explanation, but I did spend out of this, so that is exciting. All right, clothing today is gonna get 5. You do not have a lot. Gifts is gonna get 5. 30, 40, and thriving is gonna get 5. We are really close to be able to putting this in the bank. We'll put it in the bank at $100 and then put a $100 placeholder in our actual travel binder for this, so that's exciting. Shop small today is gonna get, do I want it to go to, I have $10 left. Do I want to go, let's see, what do I have 15 in shops? I don't really have any plans to get anything. Shop small isn't gonna get anything. Disney spending is gonna get 5. My brother is coming out towards the end of April, and I know he's planning on doing a Disney trip, and I would like to be able to treat him to either a meal or some drinks when we go, so I would like to save this Disney spending money for that. So we're gonna do that. And then, yeah, tech's not gonna get anything. I don't think I'm gonna do it in best. I think we'll put it in extra alley, which is just an extra savings account. Okay, let me make sure that I did my math correctly, because there have been weeks where I have not. So we have $30 in this section, 35 here, and then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, so we have $390 to start. We have the $175 from my wallet. Oops. 3, the 9 sticks. $175 from my wallet, 30 in this section, 35 in this section, 30 in this section, and 125. Okay, so I did not, so I'm over 5. Okay, we are gonna zero out this alley and do 25 in this section, which is fine. Again, next week we'll have more to work with, and I'll be able to stuff more of the categories in the categories that I wasn't able to put anything in towards this week. But yeah, awesome. Thank you for hanging out for another budget with me. I will see you guys. I hope you guys are having a great week. And I will catch you in the next cash stuffing. Have a great one.